StrayAllDay.com.
You are now tuned into the show. You learn the discipline to show up day after day to do the work, the confidence to put yourself out there boldly and authentically, and the mental toughness to continue showing up, doing the work, putting yourself out there, even when the success you've expected to achieve has yet to be achieved. And on top of all this, you get a huge dose of personal initiative, which is the go-getter energy that moves any one of us, including yourself, to go and make things happen instead of waiting for things to happen. And then we put all this together into a series of frameworks, approaches, insights, strategies, and techniques, all underneath the umbrella of one unifying philosophy that is called Work on Your Game. My name is Dre Baldwin, also known as Dre All Day, and welcome to the show. And today we are getting to part 3 of 5 in this series of keys to confidence. But before we get started, inform everybody. I send out a text message every day that is guaranteed to have you focused, sharp, and on point to start your day. I call it the daily motivation. Since you definitely want to be getting this text, let me tell you how to get it. Just send me a text right now, my number, which is 305-384-6894. And every day when that daily motivation text comes out, as a member of my texting community, you shall be receiving this message. Secondly, Work on Your Game University. If you didn't know about it, that is the place where I do all my coaching. That's the place where I work with people directly. That's the only place where you can get direct access to me on a regular basis. And you join the university by going to workonyourgameuniversity.com. That's where you get access to 40 plus courses, all of my best trainings, all of my deep dives into specific topics. For those of you entrepreneurs say, how do I actually, do things like get media appearances, or how do I get more speaking gigs, or how can I sell myself better? Or how can I create more content, or how do I come up with an offering of something that I can sell so I can make more money in my business? All of those things, and a whole lot more, are all covered inside of Work on Your Game University. And on top of that, this is not me just there is a way you can just get all that stuff and you can take it at your own pace and learn at your own pace. But there's also a way that you can have me walk you through how to do these things through direct coaching. And again, the only place that I offer that is inside of Work on Your Game University. So go to workonyourgameuniversity.com. Links down below in the description, right next to the phone number where you can text me to get that daily motivation, and we can take it from there. So with that said, let's get into today's topic, which again is keys to confidence. I've already given the background on this and why we're talking about this 2 episodes ago. So if you haven't listened to the first 2 installments of this series, go listen to those. And let's get right into it. We're picking up at point number 7 here today. Keys to confidence. Number 7, embracing challenges. Embracing challenges is a key to confidence. Understand that confident people do not always get it right. And confident people do not always win at every single thing that they do. Not everything that a confident person does is always going to, quote unquote, work or end up with the desired, the specific desired outcome. However, confident people are willing to step up and try things, and they are willing to get in the game and give it a shot, even when the outcome is not guaranteed. And because of their competence, preparation, skill, positive self-talk, and discipline, confident people usually end up winning more often than they lose, or the times that they win more than makes up for and multiplies all the times that they have lost. So if someone's going after a super, super big goal, they might fail a whole bunch of times, but the one time that they win and more than makes up for all the losses. For example, Thomas Edison, when he was creating a light bulb, according to legend, he tried 10,000 different times that it didn't work. But then the one time he got it to work, well, we all have light nowadays, right? So now when it gets dark outside, we can still keep living our lives when we don't have to go to sleep or live by candles because of the light bulb. So the one time he got it right more than made up for the 10,000 times that he got it, quote unquote, wrong. So there are some times where you could have more losses than wins, but the win is exponential. And in general, just to keep it in general terms, understand semantics here, confident people usually win more often than they lose. We just added up the value of the wins, let's put it that way, as opposed to the value of the losses. That is because competence, preparation, skill, positive self-talk, discipline, those things usually end up making you more successful than they will make you a failure. So Amazon, and when they talk about their 14 principles of leadership, some of you may not be familiar with that concept. Let me tell you what episode where I actually discussed this. This was episode numbers 895 and 896, Amazon's 14 principles of leadership. And this is for their executives. So if you want to get into the C-suite, you want to get into the management suite at Amazon, you have to live by these principles. So if you don't know about these principles, you should listen to this series. Again, episodes 895 and 896, even if you don't plan on working at Amazon, because Amazon is a very successful company. So even if you don't want to work at Amazon, like I don't want to work at Amazon, I still went and looked at those principles and broke them down and talked about it, because there are clues that you can learn from looking at entities and people who are successful. Amazon is a successful business. There are principles that we can learn from them, even if you don't want to be them. And one of the things that they say is that people at the executive level at Amazon usually win more often than they lose in terms of their ideas and their executions. That's what they say. The successful executives at our company are usually right more often than they are wrong. In other words, their idea, their point, their perspective is usually the correct one when everything plays out, more often than it's the incorrect one. Why is that? Because we put the best people in place here. So the best people usually know what they're talking about. So whatever they bring to the table usually is the right thing that needs to be brought to the table. They're winning more often than they are losing. So again, listen to those episodes where I broke this down. Understand, everybody, that not every win in life is of equal levels of importance. Sometimes you can win on a small level and sometimes you win on a much bigger level. You are only as good as who or what you come up against in order to achieve your successes. In other words, how big of a win was your win today? See, if all your wins are the easy type, where you are not really challenged in the process, then that win is not as valuable as one where you had to dig deep into yourself. Confident people are willing to dig into themselves and challenge themselves, and they don't just look for easy victories. Easy victories can help build some momentum and build up some confidence to start with, but confident people are looking for the big wins, the ones where they had to dig into themselves and they had to challenge themselves, and it's not guaranteed that they're going to be successful. So that's why this point is embracing challenges. It's not embracing a guaranteed win. It's embracing a challenge, which can lead to a win. It could also lead to a loss. And again, confident people can lose, but again, in the long run, in the aggregate, they're going to win more often than they lose. All right. Point number 8. We are talking here today, we're on part 3 of 5. Keys to confidence. Number 8, positive influences. Confident people have positive influences around them. They are surrounded by positive influences. This is the law of association in action when it comes to confidence. What does the law of association state? If you don't know what the law of association states, then all you got to do is listen to episode 1880, because I explained the law of association. You can also listen to episode 1058, where I talked about limiting your associations to 3 levels of people. That's the 2-minute person, the 2-hour person, and the 2-day person. Positive influences are not just limited to people. They're not limited to just people, but people are a part of it. Positive influences are also the things that you think about, things that you read, things that you look at, the things that you watch, where you hang out, the environments that you spend time in, and anything outside of your physical person that has any effect on you. All of this affects how you perform, how you think, how you end up living, the energy, the aura that permeates from you. All of these things are influences. The music you listen to is an influence. The place that you live is an influence. Your neighbors are an influence. The people they call you or text you and you actually answer or you respond, those are influences on you. Now, if somebody calls you or texts you and you ignore them, then they're not an influence. You're ignoring them. But if you're actually responding, I got a call today that I'm going to reply to, and we'll see how this person talks, whether or not I'm going to keep talking to them or not. I'm allowing this person to be an influence by taking their call or by returning their call. Now, you need to think about, what are the influences that you have around you? Are they helping you get to where you want to go and be the person who you want to be and do what you want to do, or are they not? Keeping in mind, folks, that there is no neutral in the universe. You are either getting better or you're getting worse, which means when it comes to your associations, every association you have is either making you better or it is making you worse. Everything that you read, everything you watch, everything you pay attention to, every person you talk to, every conversation that you have, every place that you go is either making you better and getting you closer to where you want to be and who you want to be, or it is taking you further away from that. What is it for you? You need to know. You should know. And you should be examining every aspect of your life through this frame, through this lens. Is this making me better or is this making me worse? Is this moving me forward or is this sending me backward? You should be asking yourself that question on a regular basis. Ask it about every person. Go through your call log. Go on your phone. Everybody has their phone in their hand right now or in your pocket. Go through your phone's call log and look at the last 20, 30. Just look at every call you can see in the call log and ask yourself, is this person helping me get better? When I talk to this person, does it make my life better or is it making my life worse? And nobody's keeping you neutral, by the way. Is it making me better or is it making me worse? Moving me forward or is it taking me backward? Look at what you spent your time on today. You should Do a study on your time. Just every 15 minutes, write down what you're doing. Write down what you're doing every 15 minutes or every hour, or just take notes on everything you accomplish over the course of a day and just note it down in an application or in the notes app on your phone and tell yourself what you did over the course of a day. And then look back on it the next day, look back on the previous day and say, okay, I did these 30 things yesterday. Are these things making me better? Are these getting me to become the type of person who I want to be? Or am I wasting time or spinning my wheels or heading backwards? What am I doing here? And again, you should be asking yourself this on a regular basis. I talk about this also in the mental workbook. When it comes to your thoughts, catch yourself. You got to make the unconscious conscious. You can catch yourself in your thought patterns and catch those automatic negative thoughts. I talk about this in my book, Work on Your Game. You can get that at workonyourgamebook.com, or just go get the Mirror Motivation on the Third Day. Those links are down below in the description of this episode. Say yes when you get to the Mental Game Super Duper Bundle offer. You'll get Work on Your Game, the Mental Workbook, Bulletproof Mindset, and 30 Days of Discipline. And in Work on Your Game, I talk about automatic negative thoughts. And these are habitual and unconscious. So how do you change things that are habitual and unconscious? You got to get conscious about them. Meaning you got to catch yourself doing them. You got to catch yourself in the habit so you can change any habits that need to be changed. So everything you do has some type of effect on you. Everything you engage with has some type of effect on you. You need to be checking these things to make sure they're affecting you the way that you want them to affect you. So some of you who are athletes or some type of performer, you may have a routine of things that you do before your performances or before your games or before your practices. Maybe you listen to music. Maybe you talk to a friend. Maybe you have some material saved on your phone to get you in the right zone. Maybe you have a ritual that you go through physically before you do your thing. So I have had friends as athletes, like before their games, they would speak on the phone to a family member or to one of their friends or to an old coach who will help them get into their zone, get into their right mental state. I know athletes who like to listen to certain music. They got a playlist that they like to listen to get going. I know they're everyday people who every day in the morning, they got a playlist of music they listen to as they're getting ready for work in the morning. I know speakers, they have certain routines. Some of them like to go over their speeches. Some of them like to go in a room by themselves and get in the zone. I know Tony Robbins as a speaker, he likes to get on a trampoline, an actual trampoline. He jumps up and down the trampoline to get himself physiologically into the state that he wants to be in. But there's a ritual. The whole point is there's a ritual. There's a process that gets them into the zone. All of those are influences that get them into the confident state that they want to be in so that they can do the thing that they need to do. You need to have this for yourself. Anything that you do on a routine basis that you want to do at a high level, you should have a process for getting yourself into the state that you want to be in that influences you and gets you there and keeps you there. All of these things are influences that get you into the state you want to be in so you can be at your most confident. Confident people have as many of these positive influences around them as possible, and they keep them around as a routine. They do not leave this to chance, especially when you're at the professional level. When you're a professional at what you do, you leave nothing to chance, especially when it comes to the professional thing that you do. You can't leave anything to chance, because if you do, then you're leaving your performance to chance. And if your performance is unpredictable enough, eventually you will no longer be a professional because nobody wants to pay you because they don't know what they're going to get out of you. Right? So people need to know what they're going to get from you if you're going to be a professional, which means your process for how you perform needs to be consistent and predictable, i.e., you need to have a routine. And where does a routine come from? Structure. Structure creates the routine creates the consistency. The consistency, all of that spits out discipline at the bottom of the funnel, as I like to say. Point number 9, today's topic, once again, we are on part 3 of 5. We are talking keys to confidence. Number 9 is self-care. So we talked self-acceptance a couple episodes back in this series. This is self-care. Confident people take care of themselves. Simple as that. So you accept yourself. And one of the reasons why you're willing to accept yourself is because you know that you are doing what is necessary to take care of yourself and keep yourself in your best shape, in your best state, in your best position, whatever that happens to be. That means confident people are getting enough rest. They are paying attention to what they put in their bodies. They are conscientious about what influences they have around them that are either pulling them up or bringing them down. Keeping in mind that there's no neutral in the universe. I've said that multiple times already in this series. And confident people understand you're either getting better or you're getting worse. And what you choose to do for and with yourself on a daily basis, that means where you go, what you eat, what you drink, what you think, what you do, and what you don't do. All of those things are either making you better or making you worse. Confident people take care of themselves by not abusing their bodies. And any of you who's ever abused your body, you know the things that abuse your body. Confident people practice self-care by not doing those things. And To not do those things, what creates that confidence? Discipline. What creates that discipline, folks? Structure. Confident people also don't abuse their minds. How do you abuse your mind? I mean, that's by being around people whose influence is bringing you down mentally or emotionally or spiritually, and or the self-talk that you have with yourself that's bringing you down mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. This is why the very first thing you get into when you join Work on Your Game University is Bulletproof Mindset 2.0, because the mindset is the number one thing that we got to make sure is in the right place before we do anything else. Everything starts and ends with the mentality. So this is what the most confident people do. They make sure they're checking themselves on how they're taking care of their bodies and their minds. They're not doing anything abusive to their bodies or their minds. And they take care of themselves by doing things like exercise, meditating, strengthening your immune system, practicing self-care by using the addition by subtraction method, simply meaning confident people don't do things that mess up their minds, bodies, and spirits. I mean, why would you do that? You only get one mind, you only get one body, you only get one spirit. Why would you mess it up on purpose by doing things and engaging in things that make the situation worse? Confident people don't do that. Now, you could be a confident person and catch yourself slipping doing these things. But when you catch yourself, you say to yourself, okay, if I'm going to do this, let me make sure I'm doing it in moderation. If I'm going to drink alcohol, let me do it in moderation. Or I control the alcohol is not controlling me. I control the smokes or the drugs. They're not controlling me. I control this unhealthy food. The unhealthy food is not controlling me. Are you in control of those things that you're doing, or are they controlling you? Because when they start controlling you, then at that point, you're not being your most confident self. Because if you were your most confident self, you would be aware, you would be accepting of yourself, happy about yourself, caring for yourself, and you wouldn't allow yourself to engage in a way in which it becomes reckless. Your behavior becomes reckless and destructive. With all that said, let's recap today's class, which is Part 3 of 5, we are talking the keys to confidence. Number 7, embracing challenges. Confident people do not always get it right. They do not win everything that they try, but they are willing to step up and try, especially in challenging situations, not just the ones that are easy wins, because if everything was an easy win, well, a confident person wouldn't need to do it. I mean, well, a confident person could do it, but you're not proving anything to yourself. You're just taking an easy win. You already know you're going to win. And confident people are willing to step into something that is not a guaranteed win, and they're willing to challenge themselves to step their game up. And because they're doing everything else we talked about so far in this series, they are very well prepared to deal with these challenges and oftentimes win more often than they lose. Number 8, positive influences. This is not only with people, but also with your thoughts, ideas, environments, energies, things you're looking at, things you're watching, things you're reading. All these things can be positive influences or negative influences on you, and you can put structures in place. Some people call these rituals or habits or routines. All of these things allow you to get into that positive space because you're influencing yourself with the process that you have created. So understand that these positive influences I'm referring to are not just happenstance, random things that happen. These are things you can control and put in place on purpose. And number 9, self-care. Confident people take care of themselves, meaning you're getting rest, you're paying attention to what you put in your body, what you do with your body, what you put on your body, and also with your mind, which is even, I would put a little bit ahead of the body. They both matter. You only get one of each, but both of these matter a lot. And confident people practice self-care by making sure they are giving themselves positive things to help keep their mind and their body and their spirit exactly where they want it to be. You are not allowing the outside environment or even outside people to control it. You control it. Again, this is why number one thing, first thing you get when you come into Work on Your Game University is Bulletproof Mindset, because it matters that much. With all that said, text me. Let me know the best idea you got so far from this series. My number is 305-384-6894. When you text me, you'll also be getting my daily motivation text that comes out every morning. You'll get the next one starting tomorrow morning. And workonyourgameuniversity.com. That is where you get to be coached by me directly. That's the only place I offer any kind of coaching. The only place you can get direct access to me, ask me questions, share your ideas with me, get feedback from me directly. Only place is at Work on Your Game University. Again, the link to both the university and to get the text are down below in the description. Tomorrow, we'll be going into part 4. Work on your game. Dre, all